Hello.
Hi.
Well, here we are at the 50th anniversary celebratory event.
Yay.
Okay. So Adam and I have been working really hard trying to put together a compilation of videos to celebrate. Anyone who knows me knows I've always had excellent intention, but I kind of lack follow through. It's that type B, C, D, E personality that I have, and I happen to have married someone with a very similar style.
Yes, I do. I haven't followed through on anything in 16 years.
So, except when it comes to having kids. We do that one.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But this is not about us. It's about
not.
you.
So we decided we had to do something because someone actually put together an anniversary party for our parents. Right?
Yeah.
50 years.
50
Huge
years.
deal. And since you guys went ahead and planned the party, we decided to try and plan a surprise for the party.
The entertainment, really.
Entertainment.
No, Joe, no, not that kind. Mm-mm.
Anyway, all joking aside, I know that Adam and I, and hopefully everyone else in the room, has always looked up to your marriage as such a success.
We've taken some, pointers from you as well. I've always told Katie that, listen, I'm not a stupid man.
Yes, I know that mom sometimes has to handle dad with a paint by numbers, kid gloves kind of thing sometimes. And dad has to handle mom with her slight control issue.
Slight.
But this thing has been going strong since 1967. Peaking in what year?
78, really?
Yeah, peaking in 1978. So we are all excited to be here to celebrate. I come from strong, determined people and people who make it work. So for those of us who wouldn't be here without you two, literally, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
So here, without further ado, is your video.
A really memorable time was when it was Bob's 40th birthday, and Phil decided that she wanted to have a party at her house because that's what Phil does. And we transformed her house into an entire memorabilia of Bob. Pictures all over the walls, taped all over the walls everywhere. And it was such a fun evening. We laughed like crazy, everybody. But one of the funniest things that happened is when the stripper that we had there for Bob turned out to be one of Dave Rule's patients. And Dave Rule was at the party. So as you can imagine, that's something that wasn't forgotten easily. And they actually taped a picture up at the racquetball club and everything. It was just really hysterical.
Our anniversary is a time for sharing memories. One of the funniest ones is when I visited you, Phil, on Arrowhead Trail. I stood on your deck watching you chasing a groundhog from your garden, wielding a rake. Luckily, you didn't catch him.
And I remember the great times we had skiing together and sleeping together up at Killington.
Oh.
One of my favorite recollections was occurred during one of the many trips that we made up to the house in the Poconos. We went up to play tennis, and Joe and I had to have a collared shirt on because that was a requirement for the exclusive club that was in the development where they lived, and our short shorts, which in those days were really short shorts. We were done playing tennis and came back to the house and decided before we were going to sit down for drinks or hors d'oeuvres, we take the dogs out for a quick walk. And we did, and it was amazing how friendly the people in the neighborhood were, always driving by, smiling at us and waving, until finally we realized that here I was with my short shorts on, walking a tiny little poodle at the end of a leash, and Joe next to me with his short shorts on, walking a large poodle at the end of his leash. And we realized that at that point we were prime candidates for starring roles in either Midnight Cowboy or Brokeback Mountain.
a part on the beach. I like when me and Grandpa go mini golfing. And I like when you guys like make us like snacks at night and you leave the TV on for us so like we don't get scared. I'm kind of a little bit scared of the dark.
My favorite part of the beach, well, the drive and the beach house, was each time we're in the car, you let us watch a movie, you get snacks ready, and I had to be on my DS for the rest of the time. And at the beach house, we'd go to the beach, and I love the way the waves are big the waves are. And when I jump in the pool with my goggles.
Swing.
Alright, you're up.
And Grandpa came to the beach house and then would cover me all up.
They cover you all up?
Nope.
With sand?
Nah. In my titties.
In your tootsies?
That's
Happy 50th anniversary, Nana and Grandpop. I have a great story. I have so many, but one in particular was when I was dating your son, Tom. And I had just become engaged to him, and I had broken my finger. So I had to wear my engagement ring on my other finger, which I wasn't used to doing. And so I took it off at one point when I was staying at your house, and I left to go back. And Tom and I were in the car, and I realized I didn't have it, and I thought it had fallen out on the highway when I had gotten outside quickly to do something. So I made Tom look for it on the highway, and I drove back to the house quickly to see if I'd left the ring there. And I was running around like a crazy person, and you guys said, don't worry, in the Catholic Church we have saints for this. So you just pray for the saint, in this case the saint of lost things, and then they can help you find it. Not growing up Catholic, I didn't understand the whole saints thing, but sure, hey, I've lost my engagement ring, whatever works. So we did, and then I found it on the top of the TV, or actually I think it was Grandpop that found it on the top of the TV. In fact, he came downstairs and he said, I'm not going to look for your ring anymore. And I said, why? And he said, because I found it, ha ha. And then I knew. He was such a goofy guy then, and he's still a goofy guy now. And Nana, your love has just made me feel so welcome.
I know you guys are happy to be there, and I'm happy that you're there as well. It means a lot to have you both lasting that long and having so much fun. It means a lot to me, and it gives me something to look forward to. Nana and Grandpop have both been a very big part of my life. Once during a Halloween, I had this pretty cool costume worked out, where I had this old penguin costume that used to belong to Maddie, but she'd given to me. It was a penguin with a bow tie on it. And so I was gonna have that, but I was also gonna have like a scream mask on over. It was good, but it wasn't as good as it could be. So the next day in the mail, I got this mask from Nana. It was a skull. It was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. And it really made the Halloween really memorable because I was able to replace the old mask I had with that one. And it just really magnified the costume. It made me have a lot of more fun than I would have. Nana's also always had this pasta meal that she makes. It's always just pasta and broth and cheese, but there's something special about it. It's always much better than anything else I've ever made or had. And I don't know, there's something about it. And then Grandpop and I share a love for history, especially the World War II type stuff. In fact, just last year we went to a museum together that had lots of planes from World War II, and it had a B-17 bomber that they were recreating and stuff, and that was really cool. I got to talk with Grandpop for half the day, and I learned a lot, both about World War II and Grandpop, and that was a lot of fun. It just means a lot to me that they're still doing things and going out of their way to make the grandchildren and the children just to make their lives more memorable, and it's really meaningful to me that they do that. So I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and a great life.
Hi all. Well, I wanted to make sure I was properly attired and in the state of shaving that most people are used to seeing me, because otherwise I wouldn't be recognizable on your special big day or special big week. I'm sure as soon as this video is finished and I send it off, I'll remember about 18,000 things that'll probably be more funny, whimsical, and nostalgic than what I'm about to say. But in any case, here it goes. I was on a bike ride with a friend, and we were talking amazingly enough about baseball, because I barely watched any baseball this year, largely because the Phillies just blow chunk, and I wasn't really interested in talking much about it. But he also is my friend Mark, and he's also spent time in the Philadelphia area, so we have Philadelphia and Veterans Stadium in common. And I happened to be talking about going to games when we were kids, and I just all of a sudden thought of this one memory for some reason, because it was really hot. It was about 96 degrees when we were out there, and I think I have the year right, but I could be wrong, and I think it was 1977. And I just remember this, I've always remembered this, of all the great games we went there, including the 1980 World Series and other games. I remember going there and being at a game on a Sunday afternoon. Those are the tickets we used to have. And this is the pre-Katie days. I won't say the pre-Happy days. Sorry, Katie. But these were the pre-Katie days. And we had the tickets for 4 of us. And it must have been, I like to think of it as being like 104 degrees in the shade. I'm actually sure it wasn't anywhere near that hot. But the way Veterans Stadium was set up, it was basically a big concrete bowl, and heat just radiated off the field, and all the seats were basically fiberglass. So sitting on them, you would actually burn the underside of your skin. And Mom always used to pack food, so we really actually never used to buy food at the ballpark. And as I recall, all the plastic melted into the sandwiches. It was just so hot in the field. And I think Betsy and Mom were the smart ones. They spent a lot of time inside the concourse where there was actually a breeze blowing and some shade. Dad and I tried to sit and keep score and watch the game. And I actually remember nothing about that game except the 4 of us being there, and it being probably the most miserable fun experience during it, but one of those great things you remember afterward. And in that spirit, I think we all like to remember the things that bring us together, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we all have a wonderful week together. Hopefully it won't be miserable while we're all together, and then we have a great time to celebrate.
Hi, Joe and Phil. Joyce and I are here to wish you a very happy 50th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
We're standing here with the majestic Rockies in our background because they symbolize longevity and stability, which is what you've achieved in your marriage. Congratulations on your 50-year milestone, which earns you an A, because only 7% of married couples reach 50 years. It takes 55 years to get an A+, but I'm pretty confident that's going to happen. So I thought I'd share my theory for the basis of your success, starting from day one where I was there. And these are not the obvious factors. It's not just your unwavering love and devotion for one another, although that's very important. It's not just raising a great family, having wonderful grandkids. It's not even having a terrific brother. There's a transcendental basis that are known only to 2 of us that were there at the time, and that is Amelia and me. We were walking on the boardwalk, and we came across a booth with this big Wheel of Fortune. Must have had 100 names on it. One of those names was Joe, G-E-O. We looked at each other, we said, well, this has to be. So we put down a dime, they spun the wheel, Joe came up. Amelia walked away with a big bear, and we looked at each other and we said, well, it's obvious this marriage is going to last. We have a sign. So congratulations on fulfilling the prophecy. May you have many more years, reach your A+, and beyond.
Phil and Joe, a toast to you both on your golden anniversary. You are being celebrated by everyone who loves you. And we know how much you love being surrounded by your family and friends. Have fun thinking about the warm, heartwarming memories that began 50 years ago. It's an honor to have been a part of those special memories and a privilege to share in your celebration of your golden anniversary. Thank you for being our golden friends.
We just want to recognize Fermina for being the best cook in Pennsylvania and for sure South Carolina. She taught us how her famous fish boil, and we've never looked back since.
Oh.
She knows what we like.
And Joe is the best woodworker. The number on our house, he made the plaque for.
Oh, and Joe, I'm wearing this shirt just to remind you who won the 1993 World Series.
Action.
Hey, Phil and Joe. Bob and I and Chase would like to wish you a happy anniversary and on completing
437,700 hours together.
Wow.
Happy 50th.
Woo!
Hi, Joe and Fermina.
Ron and I would like to wish both of you a wonderful 50th wedding anniversary.
We have known you for 16 years and we really enjoy getting together with you in Florida, in Redding, and on Hilton Head.
Our mutual family keeps growing. In 2003, Adam and Katie got married, and soon after that, we all started to have shared grandchildren. First Dante, then Clara, then Rory, and now Edgar.
And of course, we need to mention Stormy and Poppy as well.
We certainly have a lot of family to love and enjoy together.
Enjoy your special day with family and friends, reminiscing with stories and poignant memories. We wish you both the very best for many happy and healthy years to come.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. E. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been way too long since I've seen you. Anyway, I wanted to make this quick video for you. Katie asked me to share my favorite memory of you guys, and it's really kind of hard to pick just one because there's so many great ones from so many years. But I think the one that stands out the most for me about you, Mrs. E, was actually the very first day that we met when I came over to Katie's house, and I was shy and a little nervous, and you were just so warm and welcoming, and you made me my little bunny, who I still have. So that was something that just always touched me so much, that on the first time meeting you, you just made me feel so comfortable and so welcome into your family. And of course, that's just how you are, that's just who you are. I'm sure you're that way with absolutely everybody, because you're just such a kind and giving person. So that's my favorite memory about you. And Mr. E, I think the one that stands out the most for me about you was actually on my wedding day, when you came up to me and gave me a big hug and kiss and told me that I was more beautiful than Keira Knightley. And that just made me laugh so much because it was just so something that you would say. But that's definitely something that stands out for me. But obviously there have been so many memories over the years. You two have been like a third set of parents for me. You certainly stood out growing up as a great family and great loving people who welcomed me in to your house, and you were really just always such a great example of what such a nice marriage would be.
I just wanted to take a minute to say congratulations on 50 years of marriage. It's a huge accomplishment. And I wanted to say an even bigger thank you for sharing some of your tips on how to handle living with one man for as long as you have. Tip 1 is clearly to always have a drink in your hand, preferably a strong drink like a martini with 3 olives, I believe. And there always needs to be emergency backups on hand, just in case, preferably wine spritzers. One of the best drinks in the world, especially in the South. Okay, tip 2. To make sure you have between 1 to 6 dogs in the house at all times, just in case you need an immediate escape from your husband. You can clearly say, "Honey, I need you to take a dog out," and he will quickly get up and go outside with the dog, preferably for 60 minutes to give you some free time to do what you need to get done. Tip 3, to make sure that he has a comfortable recliner chair at all times. Thankfully, you taught us all about the Benchmaster. We now have one in our house, and it has come in super handy. At least I always know where Andrew is at all times, just like I know you always know where Uncle Joe is at all times, unless he's out walking the dogs. Tip number 4 is to make sure he has easy access to a golf course. Just so that you know, you can always send him out to play some golf whenever you need a break. The good thing about this is that he can also go out with all of your friends' spouses and get some information about what's going on in the social world. And hopefully he comes back with a couple tips and interesting tidbits of gossip. Anyway, those are very important tips that I hope to put to good use in the future, other than the Benchmaster chair, which I've already been using. But anyway, we hope to have just as fabulous of a marriage as you have had, and we say congratulations to 50 years of marriage. Happy anniversary!
Hey, Uncle Joe, I just wanted to say congratulations on 50 years of wedded bliss, and more importantly, to say thanks again so much for those valuable tips that you gave me a couple years back when we were out playing golf at Port Royal. They're really coming in handy. And I just came across your notes, funny timing, a week out from seeing you guys, that I just wanted to go back through today, the tips for a healthy and happy marriage, and the best way to have your wife adore you and worship the ground you walk on a daily basis. I have those notes right here. So tip number 1 was to clearly make sure your wife has a go-to drink, preferably a stiff drink, something like a martini, and then make sure emergency backup options are always available. And that pointer about the fact that you can make a spritzer out of pretty much anything, from cheap gin to rubbing alcohol, just dash a little Sprite in there and it does the charm. That was a great one. I try to use that as often as possible. And then tip number 2, make sure you have between 1 and 6 dogs in the house at any point in time, so that if she calls your name, that you can make a beeline for the door and grab the closest dog and just disappear for 15 to 60 minutes at a time, taking the dogs for a walk, because as you said, you can never get in trouble when you're out taking the dogs for a walk. So that was a good one. And then tip 3 was to make sure that you have a comfortable recliner chair. So I did go out and buy that Benchmaster recliner that you had highly recommended. And again, that's come in handy for the times where if your wife calls your name and the dog is not readily available, or she's between you and the door, or you and the dog, that you can put that emergency fall asleep in the chair protocol into place. That's a good one. And then that last tip, to make sure they have access to the golf course, to go out of the house pre-planned for hours at a time. So don't even need to pull these emergency levers, just pre-plan 2 to 4 hours of being absent from the house. But the key, like you said, really is to make it seem like you're not that excited about going out to play golf, that you're really just doing it to be sociable with the spouses of the ladies that she's friends with. And then make sure that you come back with at least one piece of gossip, so that it pretty much seems like you just spent the last 4 hours trying to do some recon for her enjoyment and entertainment. So I just want to say thanks again for these great tips. And I just saw your email come through about those links to the fake YouTube woodworking and photography videos that you can just set to play in your office and kind of stare at the screen while you fall asleep. I think that's going to come in handy too, especially with number 3 on the way. So anyway, thanks again. Congratulations and all the best to you and Aunt Mina. Thanks.
Hi, Phil and Joe. Happy anniversary from Toronto. Your baby cousin, Savannah. And
Frank, cheers. Happy anniversary.
And we have the whole family here.
We remember fondly going to Wildwood and seeing you guys there. And those are great days, and we cherish them all. Everybody went. We're going to bring Nora when she's big.
So wishing you the best.
Hi, Fermina and Joe. Congratulations, you're 15. Very, very nice.
Don't get old. That's the only thing I have to say. Stay young. Okay?
That's a beautiful age.
Yeah. Ciao.
That's nice.
Hi everybody. I hear you guys are having a party without us, which is fine. Just wanted to send you a few notes. I remember when I was his age, I came down to visit you guys the first time. I was in awe. My American cousins had an attic full of games. She was a nurse. She was married to somebody in the army. Holy mackerel, in awe. The big dog cousin was all that. And 50 years later, just still love her.
I just wanted to say I'm wishing you the best, wishing you another 50 years. I can't believe that I've known you for 45 of those 50. I just have a few quotes for happy marriages and anniversaries. I just wanted to read a couple to you. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always to the same person. Don't marry the person you think you can live with, marry only the person you can't live without.
Hi, Phil and Joe.
Happy 50th. Remember how much fun we had when we were with you guys in Hawaii on our 25th? Hope you have as much fun for your 50th.
Happy 50th.
From beautiful Lower Heidelberg.
We were asked to say happy
anniversary
to you guys.
Happy anniversary, Joe and Fermina.
Happy anniversary
celebration.
Yay,
good
for you guys.
Happy 50th anniversary, Fermina and Joe.
Aunt Me and Uncle Joe, happy anniversary. Happy.
Happy anniversary to you both.
Happy anniversary, Phil and Joe.
Happy 50th anniversary, Nana and Grandpa.
So once again, Joe and Phil,
Happy anniversary.
Happy 50th wedding anniversary.
Hey, Fermi and Joe. Happy 50th anniversary. I love you guys.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Salute. Auguri.
Anyway, Fermina and Joe, cheers on your 50th.
Aunt Mina and Uncle Joe, happy anniversary.
Phil and Joe, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Cheers to your 50 years. We love you.
All
right. And on 3.
Happy anniversary.
Hope you liked it. Don't mind ever
Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. This flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream. The rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now.